Good morning, boys and girls. Happy sunny day. Today, I think it's going to be one of the nicest days we've had in a very long time. Um, Breslin and I this afternoon are going to get Graydon's room ready for him. Going to kind of decorate it in red and white because those are his college colors. I also yesterday had some requests that I read different books. I understand. So on Fridays, I will record myself reading a different book that you haven't heard. I know that you guys like your read alouds. It's my favorite part of the day, as you know as well. So today, though, I'm going to read The Gigantic Giant Goof-up, Chapter 3, in which there was a fairy tale. Lavender, said Eliza. Come on, let's go home. But Lavender didn't move an inch. Who needs princes anyway, said Eliza. Princes are boring. They spend all their lives opening monasteries and visiting leper colonies, and they never have any fun because there are always scribes following them around, just waiting to make illuminated manuscripts of them if they catch them doing anything embarrassing. But Lavender did not respond. You weren't really ever going to marry a prince, were you? I mean, realistically, said Eliza. Statistically, you're more likely to be run over by a cow or catch the Black Death. If this was supposed to cheer Lavender up, it didn't work. She continued to stare into space. Anyway, who said that living in a palace with lots of rooms and dresses and servants is better than living here in a falling down house with a roof that's collapsing and vorpals that might come out of the forest and attack us at any moment? Still nothing from Lavender. Eliza frowned. They didn't come out quite how I meant it to, she said. But the point is that this is your home. And we are your family. You belong here. You don't need to be rescued by a stupid prince. So really, everything is fine. Lavender started walking slowly off along a path in the direction of their home, but she still didn't say a word. That afternoon, while Eliza practiced vanquishing imaginary vorpals with her catapult, Lavender was still completely silent. She didn't even cheer up for Grandma Maud's end of the world tea party. It's coming, said Grandma Maud with an enormous smile on her face. The end is nigh. Go on, have a tea cake while you can. But Lavender didn't have a tea cake. She just sat there looking glum and only nodded blankly when Grandma Maud announced that she was off to find a lovely spot to watch the end of the world, and she'd be back in a couple days, or not at all, depending how the end of the world went. After supper, Lavender still hadn't spoken, so she sat by herself in the yard. Bonnet decided to go and try to cheer her up by telling her a story. But wait, Bonnet? Who is this person? Bonnet? Is he a man? Is he a type of hat? Is he a hero? If you haven't met Bonnet before, there are a few things you should know about him. To start with, he's scared of many things. Exactly 3,173 at the last count, including werewolves, spiders, caves, tortoises, heights, Thursdays, pigeons, sandwiches without a cucumber in them, and the color mauve. Secondly, though he was small and shaped like a scone, Bonnet was actually a giant. He was just not the same size as his brothers and sisters. He was not fond of hitting things or smashing things or biting things like his brothers and sisters were, but he was definitely a giant. His giant family had always told him so. Ha ha! You're such a bad giant, they used to say, while affectionately hitting him over the head with a very large club. There's Grandma Maud in her finery, waiting for the end of the world. Thirdly, having left the land of the giants, Bonnet now lived with Lavender, Eliza, Grandma Maud, and Gertrude in the back of Beyond. They had taken him in when he was lost and lonely, and they were all very fond of him. Lavender and Eliza made him feel at home by being his friends. Gertrude made him feel at home by eating his socks. And Grandma Maud made him feel at home by saying things like, "Pass the milk, would you, Bucket?" So that's Bonnet. She called him Bucket, right? Yeah, she did. Ooh. "Hello, Lavender," Bonnet said, sitting down beside her. She said. Wasn't much, but it was something, Bonnet thought, so he kept going. "Maybe I could cheer you up with a fairy tale," said Bonnet. He knew that Lavender loved fairy tales. Said Lavender with a shrug. "Once upon a time," Bonnet said, "once upon a time, there was a door. It was a happy door, and it was green." The end. He decided to start again. "Once upon a time, there was a beautiful bird. It was magical, so magical that it could fly. Just like other birds." This really wasn't going well. Bonnet looked down at his hands. He twiddled his thumbs. He decided to try one more time. "Once upon a time, there was a tiny girl," he said, "a girl as small as a thumb. She had magical powers, and she lived in a muddy yard." There's Lavender standing between Bonnet's feet. "No, she didn't," Lavender suddenly replied. "If she was magical, she definitely did not live in a muddy yard. Let me tell it. Once upon a time, there was a girl who was tiny and magical. She lived in a fairy kingdom just like Thumbelina. And she met a tiny prince who was just the same size as her, and they fell in love. That's it." Lavender leapt to her feet. "That's what?" said Bonnet. "That's the answer. Thanks, Bonnet." And Lavender, planting a kiss on his head and a daisy in the grass, that's how excited she was. "Wait, what's the answer?" asked Bonnet, but Lavender had already skipped away. Bonnet sighed. He didn't know what the answer was. He didn't even know what the question was. All he knew was that he spent time with Lavender, and he often found himself feeling a bit lightheaded. He decided to add another worry to his list of worries. Worry number 3174. Could I be allergic to lavender? Tomorrow I will read chapter 4, in which there is a jar. Have a great day. I miss you. Get out in that sun. Enjoy yourselves. Bye.